Hi, everyone. Welcome to DVC's Welcome Day for Spring 22. My name is Jennifer Tejada, and my pronouns are she and her, and I am the Dean at DVC's San Ramon campus.
Hi, everybody. I'll be co-hosting. My name is Tristan Keene. My pronouns are she and her, and I am currently a second-year student here at DVC.
We are so excited that you have chosen DVC to be the next step of your educational journey. We are here today to share with you important knowledge and resources for a successful first year at DVC, and most importantly, to begin a connection to our DVC community. I now invite the college president, Susan Lamb, to share her welcome remarks.
So I'd like to welcome everybody to DVC. As you can see, I'm here at the campus, and we're looking forward to many of you coming here also to campus. I know some of you have selected to do remote courses. Some of you have selected to do hybrid courses, and some of you are here in person. And so we're very excited to have you here at DVC, especially those of you who are coming back in person. We hope that you come back, that you engage. For those of you that are doing online courses, we still hope that you come to the campus and engage, that you come, you participate in clubs, you get to know maybe some of the other students in your class outside the classroom, and that you do enjoy your time here at DVC. One of the things I will mention, and I know that many of you are new to the campus, is that you know, we do have supports here. The most important thing I'd say is really, if you do find yourself struggling or you're feeling uninvolved, I would say reach out to your teacher, reach out to your counselor, reach out to one of the support staffs here. One of the things you'll find here at Diablo Valley College is that at both our locations, we have student centers that are located in various areas of our campus. And they're centered around basically your degrees and your interest areas. So what we're looking at, if you're interested in STEM, there will be a student center where you'll find other students that you can talk with, talk over your classes with. You'll also find other supports there. You can talk to a counselor there that can talk with you about counseling options or career options in your discipline. And there's also tutoring services in these locations. But it's a great way for you to engage with other students that may be in the same major that you are, and with faculty that are in that area. So I would encourage you, regardless of whether you're taking a online or an in-person course, to please come to campus, get engaged with other people. We do have COVID protocols in place. You will notice we are all wearing masks, except when we're in our offices by ourselves. Or, you know, if we're outside, obviously a lot of people in the open environment do not wear masks. But I just want to say welcome to Diablo Valley College. We're so happy we're here and that you're here with us. We're really happy that you have selected DVC to help move you toward your future. So thank you for being here.
All right, thank you so much. I now invite Associate Student Body President Jung-Young Jo to welcome you on behalf of the ASDVC.
Hi everyone, welcome to Diablo Valley College. This is Jung-Young, your ASDVC, which is Student Body President. I know there are a lot of uncertainties, but just know that there's also a lot of support coming from the college. We have provided funds for resources for you guys so you don't have to pay for them. Essentially, they're free for you. We have Timely MD, which is free healthcare online, virtually, and a food pantry that provides fresh produce, canned goods, and also even food that you can just pop into the microwave and heat up. They are cuisines from all over the world, so just stop by at the Student Union building to check out all of these free resources. And furthermore, if you would like to contact any of your student representatives at the student government, feel free to search up ASDVC on Google, and the first link that shows up will have all of our contact information. Looking forward to see you guys on campus or in class, and good luck.
All right, thank you so much, Susan and Jung-Young, for your warm welcome. College is not something you should do alone. College is all about community. Research on first-year students shows that students are the most successful when they, 1, focus on having a plan, focus on being a student, 2, have a plan, and 3, build communities. While this is an unusual time to be starting college in this weird kind of hybrid environment, we really hope you feel like part of our community. DVC's website and social media are 2 ways to help you connect. Follow DVC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn to stay connected to other students, campus events, activities, and information. Most importantly, be sure to regularly check your Insight email, as that is the way that your professors and the college will communicate with you. We also would like to highlight one initiative in particular, DVC in Solidarity, where DVC is continuing to show our commitment to social justice and support of our Black students, employees, and community members.
All right, thank you so much. Your welcome to DVC does not end with today's event. If you haven't done so already, please sign up for any of the workshops that interest you being held this Saturday. This slide features all of the workshop topics, and you can go to the Welcome Day webpage to register. Next slide.
The resource fair will take place in person at the DVC Commons on both the Pleasant Hill and San Ramon campuses. Please join us and get connected to friendly students and staff. Let us know you're coming by registering early.
By the end of our time together today, you'll have had the opportunity to hear from our students and faculty on tips for starting your semester off strong. We will also have our faculty distance education team share with you how to be successful in an online hybrid college environment. But before we get into these helpful tips, I'd like to share with you some facts about DVC that confirm that starting your college career here is an excellent choice.
Oh my gosh, it totally is. DVC is one college with 2 campuses, one in Pleasant Hill and then another in San Ramon, offering many degrees and certificates. And we're also recognized for being #1 in transfers to UC Berkeley, UC Davis, and UC Merced, #3 in transfers to all UCs, #1 in transfers to San Diego State, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, Chico, and Sacramento State, as well as being #2 in transfers to CSU East Bay. DVC is also #1 within Northern California community colleges and ranked in the top 10 throughout the entire state in awarding associate degrees for transfer. The faculty are exceptional and are fully trained in both online and in-person instruction. Our student services staff are here to help you and available in person and online for you to get the help you need.
Okay.
All right, answering some common questions. So, if it's your first time on physical campus, like it is for me, you're probably wondering, what do I do? There will be information booths located around campus from January 17th to January 27th to help you navigate campus and address your questions. But remember, you will need to show proof of vaccination and complete a daily health assessment in order to access in-person services. For other additional COVID-19 related updates, you can also visit www.dvc.edu/COVID-FAQ. All right. What do you do if your course says TBD? TBD means to be determined, and this indicates that there is not yet a set class meeting. Your instructor will confirm how the class is run and when assignments are due.
When will I see my classes on Canvas? Your classes will appear on Canvas on the day that the class officially starts. So that start date that's in the schedule is when you should see your classes on the Canvas page. You must be enrolled in the course to be able to see and access the Canvas site. So if you're on the waiting list or you're wishing to add, you have to wait until you're officially enrolled before you'll see that class on Canvas. Instructors may publish the class Canvas site earlier than the first day of class if they choose. So you may see some of your classes on Canvas, but not all of them, and that's the reason why. Next slide. How do I know who my instructor is? There are still a few classes that don't have instructor names attached to them. It will probably say staff. Please be patient. Some departments are finalizing the hiring of their instructors or getting people in place. And once an instructor has been assigned to the class, you will be able to view their name on Insight. Next slide. Important question. What does synchronous versus asynchronous mean? So they're both fully online classes. Synchronous and asynchronous are both online. Synchronous online classes have required live sessions at a set meeting time, and those sessions are usually on Zoom. For example, you may be taking a class that has a synchronous Zoom meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 10:30 a.m. So that's when you would log in and view your lecture, or maybe it's a live exam, something that's happening that's required at that time on those dates. And those times and requirements are posted in the schedule. Asynchronous means it's an online class with no required set meeting times or required live sessions. Any live session that the instructor offers, or their office hours, or a study group session, is optional. And often they're recorded, so students who can't make that time can view the recording later. This, however, does not mean that this online class is self-paced. It is not. There is a set schedule. There are due dates for assignments. The instructor will be explaining the expectations of the course and when things are due and how you should be moving through an asynchronous course.
All right. After this session, you will receive first in your email a DVC Hacks Guide and other links to resources on campus. And through the mail, you'll be receiving DVC swag. Woohoo! But in order to get that very, very important swag, you have to make sure that your mailing address is up to date on Insight. So go do that now. Next up, we'll have our faculty and student panel, which will be moderated by DVC counselor Rain Dugan. Put your questions in the Q&A chat, as we will have time at the end of the panel presentation for questions.
Thank you, Tristan. And my name is Rain Dugan, and I'm so happy to welcome you all to DVC. It's an amazing place, I'm sure you'll quickly discover. And you are starting off strong by attending Welcome Day. Coming to college is very exciting. It's an amazing moment, transition in your life. It's also often confusing. So I imagine you might already have been confused once or twice or 20 times about something at DVC. So it can be a little overwhelming, but there are so many people here to support you. We have over 20 full-time counselors just at our Pleasant Hill campus and more at the San Ramon campus, in addition to a number of other student services professionals. And so we are going to be your support team while you're at DVC. And the panel that we'll have right now is intended to support you in getting started and giving you some general information and in answering questions that you have that you would like answers to before the semester begins. So I would like to invite our panelists to please turn on your cameras. We have both current students and faculty members joining us for the panel. If you could turn on your cameras. And let me see how I can view you all. Okay. All right. So what I would like to start with is if we can do some introductions. If you could just share your name, and if you're a student, you could share why you chose DVC and maybe like the background of how you came to DVC. And if you're a faculty member, if you can share why you chose DVC and what your area of is at DVC, where you teach or what area of responsibility you have. And so we don't all speak at once. Maybe you all could just kind of raise your hand when you're ready to jump in and I will call on someone. Anyone want to go first with an introduction? All right, I will. I'll get ready for the first day of the semester and just call on people. Okay, Kimberly, can you start us off?
Actually, you know it, right? I think Yusuf, I think he raised his hand.
Oh, did he? Okay, maybe I can't see with the Zoom background. Maybe raising hands is not a good idea. So let's just try this. Rather than raising hands, why don't you just unmute and jump in? And if we talk over each other, then we'll just start again. All right, so Yusuf, go ahead, and then we'll go to Kimberly next. And Yusuf, you're still muted. And no, I don't see Yusuf. So we'll come back to Yusuf. So Kimberly, you're up again.
Okay. Okay, no worries. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly Mendoza, and this is my second time on the panel. So thank you again for having me. I am a current student, but I am also a faculty member, I guess, but not really faculty. Just like what Rain said, I'm here for another branch of support for you guys. I am part of the PACE program, and the PACE program is Program for Adult College Education. And so pretty much, if you guys are a working adult, full-time parents, if you have a full-time schedule, this program is definitely something that you guys should be into, and I'll definitely talk about that soon. But I chose DVC. So the first time I went to DVC was in 2007 when I graduated high school. So from 2007 to 2010, fresh out of high school, I didn't really have like a direction, but I chose DVC because just because of the vast range of certificates, a lot of accolades for the school, and also a very high transfer rate. So if those of you who are interested in transferring to a four-year college, definitely a lot of support, a lot of resources there for you guys, as well as if you're looking for like any certificates for like business or anything like that for a job, this was definitely the first place that I looked. So, and that's why I joined DVC.
Wonderful. I love that story. It's great to start and find your way back when the time is right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Aditya, would you like to go next?
Sure thing. All right. So hello, everyone. My name's Aditya, and I am a mathematics instructor at Pleasant Hill. And so if you have to take math, you may have me or one of our many wonderful colleagues in our department. How did I find myself back at DVC? I was actually a DVC student back in the day, to not reveal my age. So it was a while ago. And it was cool. I didn't actually really know what I wanted to do when I was in community college. I was just kind of going through the motions, but one of my math instructors gave me a job in the math center, and that kind of catapulted what is now my future career. So it's really cool that I get to now be back at the place that really like helped me believe in myself and my education. So welcome, everyone. It's nice to see you all.
Thank you for sharing. Another great story. Appreciate hearing these. Emperor, would you like to go next?
Yes, of course. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to be here and to share my experience with you all. My name is Empress Sari, and I am a current first-year student here at Diablo Valley College. I attended Heritage Baptist Academy during my first 3 years of high school. Then I transferred to Pleasant Hill Adventist Academy in my senior year of high school. In regards to my educational goals, I plan to achieve an associate's degree in psychology in 2 years, and then transfer to a 4-year university of my choosing. My reason for choosing DVC was I knew that my heart was set on going to college and pursuing a higher education, but I also knew that with 3 girls, my parents couldn't exactly afford the extremely high cost for university tuition. Being able to take part in campus programs like FT3, which stands for first time plus full time equals free tuition, allowed me to continue my quest for knowledge at an affordable price. Aside from offering students a low-cost education, DVC provides students with a warm and friendly environment that embraces them with open arms. And this aspect really made me fall in love with this college even more. I knew that the professors, counselors, staff, and faculty members at the Puma Center, library, math lab, and several other places all had my best interest in mind and were willing to help me in any way in fulfilling my maximum potential.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Yusuf, did we get your mic worked out?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. All right. Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Some technical issues right before the first week of class, so I better start emailing my professors. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Yusuf. I am a student here at DVC. I am a cognitive science major. I came to DVC graduating Cal High because I looked at the cost of college and I knew it was going to be very difficult for my parents to attend. And I knew that DVC was a great institution. So I said, hey, let's just give it a try. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I have phenomenal professors. Every class I've been able to reach out and talk and communicate and build relationships with my professors that I am sure that I would not have been able to do at a larger institution with 300 plus students in one class. So I've had a really, really great experience at DVC. I'm very happy to be here and looking forward to see what's in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here. I believe that's all our panelists. Those are all the cameras I see on. So if I missed anyone, please jump in. But I'll ask our panelists a couple just general questions that tend to be on people's minds, on students' minds as they start DVC. And we'll be looking in the Q&A. So if you have questions for our panelists, please put them in the Q&A so we can address them. Panelists, if you could share some of the programs, activities, or services that you've utilized at DVC that have been most helpful to you, ones that you'd recommend other students get involved in, that would be great. And we'll go ahead and when you feel inspired, just go ahead and unmute and jump in and we'll deal with it if it's a little bit bumpy.
I can start.
Thank you.
Okay. So the two most helpful programs for me personally were definitely the Umoja program and the free tutoring offered at the Math Lab. For those who may be unaware, Umoja is a learning community on campus that unifies Black and African students and provides them with a safe space to be their full, authentic selves. Being a part of Umoja has definitely allowed me to take advantage of so many different opportunities, such as becoming a Puma student leader, attending the Umoja statewide conference, and being given a mentor that I can turn to for not only educational advice, but also personal advice. In addition, the Umoja coordinators have done a great job with bringing students together as a whole and establishing that sense of community, despite being in an online environment. Online events like the Mentor-Mentee Mixer, which we had in the past, gave my fellow Umoja scholars and I a chance to build community and to grow closer together.
Thank you, Empa. Anyone else want to add?
Yeah, I want to just catapult off that because I'm like incredibly biased, and she said she loved the free tutoring at the Math Center. And I think like the Math Center is probably one of the most life-changing places you can go to, especially if you do not like math. I say this as an instructor, but also as like a fellow student who utilized it. There's a lot of people in there who are really, really invested in helping you kind of achieve what you need to achieve in your math courses. But you also will find that you'll just like get to know so many more people around you who are kind of going through that similar struggle. So and I would not only like heavily recommend the Math Center, but any of our learning centers on campus, I think brings a community together. We have a lot of great resources, a lot of learning communities as well, as was mentioned, is really good. And something that I would heavily utilize that I want to tell you early is like the DVC scholarships are excellent. It's one scholarship application for, making you eligible for quite a few scholarships if you get them. So I think it really helps, especially as community college students. A lot of you are working and going to school. So I think those are some really important resources. And the last thing I want to say is just get to know your teachers. I think it is a different vibe than like going to a four-year university. I would say your instructors are really, really there to help you get to know you, kind of understand your struggle and meet you where they can. And so that would probably be my biggest recommendation. But yeah, that's it.
Great advice. Thank you. Yusuf or Kimberly, you have anything to add?
I'll go. Yeah, definitely. Just kind of like what everyone has been talking about. So like I mentioned, the last time that I went to college was in 2010. And then, I was just working on my career because, just college wasn't fitting for me. And then, COVID hit, and that definitely changed my outlook on life and what I really wanted to do with my career. So I started last year in 2021, and then immediately after started with my first math class after 11 years. So I was freaking out. I was like, I was not prepared. But yeah, just like, what Embra said, like being a part of that math lab and just especially being an adult coming back into the world of academics and it being online only because of COVID is definitely a learning curve for most of us, especially me. Sometimes I don't even know how to look at a text message sometimes, but the great thing about the PACE program though is that not only do we encourage our PACE students, adults returning back to school to take the initiative to look at all the resources that DVC has to offer, but we also have PACE tutors specifically for math and or English, which is great because you get to meet your fellow PACE, community. But also the people that are teaching you or the people that are tutoring you have already taken those classes that you have that you're taking right now. So it's nothing like you don't have to explain anything. It's kind of like, definitely like I want to say like a all-inclusive resort, but but for academics, obviously. So yeah, definitely, get to know your instructors, get to know all of the resources that we have, and also definitely keeping an open communication with your counselors because, yeah, not only can you get a counselor to help you, route your track on your academic route, but also you can talk to them about, personal stuff and how you're feeling. Because if something isn't working for you, you're not here as a high school student. You're here as an adult about to go forward in your career and make something out of, your education here at college. So if something isn't working out, there's always another opportunity that we have for you with your counselors. So, yeah.
Thank you. Great advice. All right. We've had a lot of good answers. Yusuf, do you have anything to add here?
I just really want to just emphasize what Kimberly mentioned, the importance of not only communicating with counselors, but communicating with professors. I know that when I first came to DVC, my first semester, I struggled because I didn't communicate as much as I should with counselors. This past semester, I was meeting with a counselor almost twice a month, right? I had a class where, there was some funky things going on and she helped me through the entire process. So being in constant communication with counselors is so incredibly key. And they're able to bring up questions and things that I didn't even know, right? So my journey throughout DVC has been made so much smoother because I've learned to keep in context communication with my counselors. Additionally, it's critical, absolutely critical to relate and connect with professors. In high school, we don't really get to do that. It's kind of like you go, you do your homework, you turn it in. But college, your professors are a lot more than just that. You have to reach out to them, connect with them, and keep those relationships. I have an English teacher that I took my first semester of DVC that, 5 semesters later, I still email and I get book recommendations for, and we chat and I go to his office hours and he's able to give me advice and, help me, forge my path into the world. So it is very, very key to keep reaching out. People are here to help. You just have to go and ask.
Fabulous advice. Thank you all so much. One more question that is something that did come up in the chat as well, and then we'll see if there's any chat questions. Do you have advice for students transitioning to college academics are different and challenging, right? And then also many students, even though we're hoping students come back on campus, we do have a lot of classes still online. So tips for academic success, and then in the online environment, if you can comment on that.
I can go because it's funny because we just talked. My other coworker and I, we just talked about this. So definitely, like I mentioned, like being in an online environment, especially transitioning from high school where you have to go to campus to this being hybrid courses. One of the main things that I definitely notice is that a lot of students definitely tend to disengage when it comes to a lecture because, definitely the material is different. It's a little bit more challenging. The lectures are definitely a little longer. So it's hard to keep, that engagement during class while learning. But, one of the things that I definitely took to heart is always be present, just like you're in a classroom. Like, even though we are here in a virtual setting, keep your camera on, always engaged. It's kind of like, students that tend to sit closer to the professor, like in front of the class, definitely they're more engaged. They understand the material more than those who sit in the back. So kind of just what I went back over or what I spoke about before, it's one of those things where it's like, college is definitely different and it's such a more fulfilling experience than high school. Just like what Yusuf said, like in high school, you have to do this, get the homework done, get the good grade, you're done. This is kind of different. This is kind of like this is like a lifelong learning environment, so the materials that you are learning, the people that you're meeting, this is a full 360 experience where this is going to be carried out throughout your life. So definitely keep engaged as much as possible and get out there and do some, check out different resources that we have. And like I said, always keep in touch with your professor and your counselors. So yeah.
Thank you for that. Any other advice about online learning, success in academics in college?
Yeah, absolutely. Online learning is tricky because you don't have the in-person aspect of it. And I think the most important thing to remember is you have to be disciplined yourself, right? You have to have drive within yourself because it's going to be very, very easy to not go to class, especially if the class is recorded. And it's like, oh, I'll watch it later. And then like 2 weeks before the final exam, you're watching the entire class's worth of videos and trying to get it done. So it's very, very critical to set time for yourself and say, look, at like 1 o'clock, I'm going to make sure I sit down every single day or every other day and I'm going to study math. Like no matter what happens, no matter where my friends are going, I'm going to make sure I get that done. So that's really, really critical. The other piece of advice that I would give is to be engaged in the class. Oftentimes, professors or students will actually create like a Discord or a group chat to help each other out. Be involved in that, right? If you're in class, speak, ask questions, right? Just that action of just asking a question helps you be more engaged, helps you be a part of that class in a way that you really can't be if you're disengaged or if something's going on, if you're on your phone while on the Zoom call. So yeah.
Choose to engage. That's great advice. All right, wonderful. We have just another couple minutes, and so I wanted to get a couple questions from the chat. And there are some questions in the chat or the Q&A that we will answer, that we'll type the answers to because they might be very particular to your situation. But a couple of the questions that have been more general, one is about work-life balance with academics. So most of our students at DVC are working. For those of you who are working, how have you managed to balance the demands of your job with academics? Do you have any tips for that, achieving that balance?
Yeah, if I can just chime in here, I can speak to my experience as a student. I was working 3 jobs and attending school full time. So I think like, in your mind, you feel like you can do everything. And the reality is like sometimes it's going to be hard. And so my biggest advice is just be patient with the process. I think like a lot of times we have an idea of what we want the result to be. And I think we forget about things like our mental health and we forget about things like our general well-being. And I think it's important to take time for those things as well as like prioritizing your schoolwork. So I think the biggest advice I could give you is if anything is getting too overwhelming, like just talk to your professors early. I think it's really important to connect with them the earlier the better, so you can come up with some sort of plan on how you can tackle what can get overwhelming, but just be patient with the process. Some semesters will be your semester, others won't, but I think it's important to know that like one letter grade doesn't define who you are as a human being. I feel like there's so much more to the college experience than just that grade. So that's what I would say there.
Keep perspective. That's important. Thank you for that. Ember looks like she wants to jump in.
Yes, I just wanted to piggyback off what he was saying. I think it's definitely important to stay in tune with your mental health, like take breaks. We, as students, I know for me personally, I try to do too much and I'm very hard on myself. So when I have a lot going on, I tend to just push through and not just take a step back and assess the situation and tell myself, okay, you need to take a break. So I think really just, staying in tune with your mental health, listening to your body, those times where you feel like you can't go to class, that is a valid reason not to not go to class. Your mental health is a valid reason. So I think definitely keeping in tune with your body and knowing what your limits are, and that is okay to take a break sometimes.
Yes, schedule those in. We all need those. Thank you. Final question from the Q&A. And again, we will answer your individual questions in the Q&A, but the final one that was sort of more broad is about creating community at community college, right? It's in the name, and we started out talking about that at this Welcome Day event. How have you all created community, especially in this challenging time that we're in? If you have any advice for new students on creating community in their experience here.
Oh my gosh, I totally do. And the reason also why I really enjoyed the PACE program is because it's hard to, like, as an adult, it's definitely hard to connect with, students that are definitely younger than you and have different experiences and different life experiences. But, so being a part of a program that's definitely your cohort, that's your learning community. And the cool thing about the PACE program is that once you join, you are actually going, like, you have your own cohort and you're going through all the different classes together. So it's like, if you're going to English 122 to English 126, you're going to be like, oh, I know, well, welcome back, so that's definitely a big help in definitely creating that community within a virtual world. But another thing that has definitely helped, and Yusuf touched base on it as well, is Discord. I never heard of Discord before until I started, started going back to school, and it's definitely another tool that you guys definitely need to keep because it's definitely it's an easier place for you guys to communicate with other students. You can put gifts in there and like how you're feeling. You can post different things. One of my two of my classmates, we actually started a Math 135 Discord and a macroeconomics Discord, and there just a ton of students. We were posting like study tips. We were posting like homework questions and like, I got stuck on this question. If you need help, this is what I did. And it was definitely a community in a virtual experience. So yeah, like just definitely just keeping engaged and using all of the resources. That's how you can set up a community environment.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much.
Can I hop on to this real quick?
Yeah.
Get involved. I cannot stress that enough. Absolutely get involved, because I felt a little bit of that disconnect when I first came to DVC. So I just got involved. I joined the student ambassador program. I joined student government. I became a tutor. I was in various different committees, working with our deans and trying to do some awesome stuff on campus. I got involved, right? And now I'm a lot more closer to my school campus. I know what's going on. I'm a lot more involved, and I do feel a sense of community. I know what's going on. Right, you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You have to get involved. It's not going to come to you. You have to put yourself out there. We have a ton of clubs. Like we have a tea club. I mean, that's amazing. You have to get involved. Find a community. It's out there waiting for you. You just have to go and get involved.
I'm going to totally join the tea club. That sounds awesome. Thank you. Great advice. Any other advice about creating community? Okay, well, thank you all for being part of our panel. You have so much wisdom and insight that you've shared, and we really appreciate you being here. Before the semester starts on your winter break, have a wonderful rest of your winter break, and we'll see you at DVC soon. And so you can go ahead and or turn off your video and mute your microphone if you haven't already. And thank you again for allowing us to share this part of the program with you. I will be at the transfer workshops on Saturday and hope to see some of you there. And please remember that for any questions that you have an amazing crew of people at DVC to help. So don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much, and turning it back over to Jen.
Thank you so much, Rain, and for our fantastic student and faculty panel. And I hope you're feeling a little bit more informed and inspired and excited about starting the semester on Monday. There are many strategies and skills that make a student successful in any class, but most especially in an online class or a hybrid class. I'd like to introduce now members of our distance education team who will be presenting information on how you can navigate the online environment and be super successful in your online classes. So I'm going to turn it over to Lisa and Carolyn and Mariano.
Perfect. Welcome everybody. And we've got a slide pack that's going to come up. Perfect. And so there's at DVC, things are really done in teams. And so we've got a distance ed team assembled for you today. And we're going to run through some tips on how to get ready for online learning. Next slide. So we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Lisa Orta, and you see the picture of me with my daughter down there. She just left today to go back to graduate school. I've been at DVC ever since she was 3 months old, so for 26 years. And I absolutely love my job. Every semester brings new ways to think about teaching and learning. And I'm a Bay Area native, so I'm very involved with the things that appeal to Bay Area natives. Carolyn?
Hi, I'm Professor Carolyn Seifer. I teach business at DVC. I too have been there for 26 years and absolutely love it. And I really love the students talking about getting involved. I am faculty advisor for a business club, Phi Beta Lambda, and I also sit on the scholarship committee, which was mentioned. So check out all of those resources. Mariano?
And I'm Mariano Resendez. I teach plant science and horticulture at the Plant Science and Horticulture Department. I also do some distance ed work online for some instructors who need help. Welcome. All right, let's get started. These are my chunk of slides. Next slide, please. Whether you're brand new to online learning or if you've already taken a course with some type of online component at DVC, the first thing to do once you arrive at dvc.edu is to click on the Canvas link at the top of the web page. The Canvas link page provides you with 4 support buttons where you will bring your attention to student support at the bottom, that third icon, if you are in need of online tutoring. Counseling and support. If you're brand new to Canvas, the learning management system, make sure to earn your Canvas training badges. The sooner you take the time to complete these short trainings, the sooner you will set yourself up for success in your online classes. Next slide, please. The first things first is to earn these 2 badges, the Canvas Expert Badge and the Online Success Badge. Next slide, please. So how do you go about accessing your online classroom? Next slide, please. Similar to the way you access badges for your online training, you will first click into the Canvas link at the top of the web page, and then click into the red link where you will be able to log into Canvas. Next slide, please. Once you're logged in, you will have your dashboard show all the classes you're registered for. Keep in mind that some classes have late start dates and most courses won't be visible until the first day of class. At the top right-hand corner of this page, you have your to-do list that shows course assignments, their due dates, and their point values. And below this list, you have the recent feedback list, where you will see comments on assignments made by your instructor or students if you are participating in a graded discussion. And now, Carolyn.
Next slide, please. All right, so now we're going to talk about how you can personalize Canvas for yourself. And this is very important because even if your class is on campus, there's a very high probability that it will have a Canvas classroom with it also. And if your classes are online, you will definitely be using Canvas. So the first thing you should do, in fact, I really recommend you do all of this weekend before your classes begin, is to personalize by setting up your profile, creating your personal settings, and setting up notifications. And you'll do this when you're in Canvas, logging on, as Mariano told us how to, by clicking the account button near the top of the menu. When you do that, you'll get a menu that drops down, and the three most important are notifications, profile, and settings. Next slide, please. First thing to do is set up your profile. Your profile is kind of your bio. I know a lot of you are on social media, you've done this a lot. If you do nothing else, put your photo here. And you'll do that by clicking the Edit Profile button to the right, and then you'll have an option to upload a photo. A photo is so important, particularly for a fully online class, because it allows your professor to connect with you better if they can see you visually. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Adding a profile is optional, but the photo is essential. So do that this weekend before you log on to your first online classes. And you only have to do this once. The photo you upload will show in all of your Canvas classrooms. Next slide, please. Likewise, your settings will also hold for all of your online classes. You will choose settings from the menu to the left, and then click the Edit Settings button to the right. Once you do that, you can add in a personal email address if you'd like. That's optional. Your default email address is your Insight DVC email address. You can also add your cell phone number so that you can receive notifications by text about your classes. You can specify your preferred pronouns and do other things here. So next slide. Once you've done that, you want to choose notifications from the menu to the left. Now, notifications will send important information about your classes to you via email and or text. And so if you've entered your cell phone number, you can have them these notifications texted to you. So, for example, if your instructor makes a special announcement, instead of having to log on to Canvas and view it there, it will come straight to your email or your cell phone. You can get grades, that a grade's been uploaded, that someone has commented on a discussion board posting, that your instructor has left you feedback. There are all kinds of notifications that you can get. And again, you only have to do this once, and it applies to all of your classes this semester and in the future. Next slide, please. Once you've done that, you really want to learn how to keep track with Canvas. And Canvas offers some really amazing tools to help you do this. Next slide, please. In your online classroom, one thing I do want to mention is that all of your professors are individuals, and they will all have a classroom that looks different. So when you get into a Canvas classroom, don't expect them all to look the same. They will look different depending on how your professor set it up. This happens to be my Intro to Business classroom and what it looks like. To the left, you'll see a menu in your online classroom. Announcements is what you can click to see any special announcement that your professor has made. And another important tool is grades. Grades will show all of the grades that your professor has entered. Also important, to the right, you'll see a button for a course calendar. That course calendar will show all the due dates for all of the assignments in this class. And then below that, you'll see a to-do list. So those would be all of the assignments that are due and upcoming, and the date and time that they are due. Next slide, please. Okay. In the grade book, you will see, again, all of the grades that your professor has entered. And you can also see the little kind of thought bubbles there to the right of participation. That's an example of a symbol that says your professor has left feedback for you. So if you see that when you go to the grade book and you haven't read that feedback yet, just click on that little icon and you can read what your professor has said. And down at the bottom where you see 78%, this will show you what your grade is at all times. So every time a new grade is entered, Canvas will recalculate to show you where you are right now. So you always know where you stand grade-wise. Next slide. Again, your calendar will show you all of your due dates, and it will show you all of your class due dates. So they're color-coded, and so the Canvas calendar is very valuable. Next slide. And then, as I mentioned, your professor might make important announcements, and you could have those sent to you by setting up notifications, or you can go into announcements in Canvas. Always read these announcements. Next slide. And the to-do list, I pointed that out already. Again, everything that is upcoming will show there. And next slide. And below that, you will see feedback. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of reading your professor's feedback. They will spend a lot of time giving you written feedback that will help you in the class, help you learn, help you improve. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lisa.
Great, Carolyn, thank you. Just as the students explained earlier in the program, DVC is known for the help and support that we provide to students, and we provide a lot of help and support with our learning management system. Next slide. So here are some places that you can get support. And in this instance, I have to say that the pandemic has pushed us to getting even more organized and more responsive to student needs. There is a Canvas chat, and that's provided by the Canvas publishers. And you can access that on your navigation bar by just going down to the help button, clicking on it. And then there can be live chat support. And there's also a way for you to submit a question and for them to get back to you with an answer. The other way to get Canvas support, and quite honestly, I think probably something more immediate, is going to be to go to our academic support center. This is our Ask Center, and we have people during designated hours sitting and waiting for you to jump in with any question that you might have. They're fully prepared to screen share with you, and they live for this. They absolutely love answering your questions. So don't let them be lonely. And I tell my students, don't be frustrated for more than a matter of minutes. Jump into the Ask, get help, and then you can move on and not feel frustrated. Next slide. Additional support. As Mariano already mentioned, we've got these online badges. And what I wanted to say about these badges is these are badges that we've made within the college. So even though Canvas is published by an outside publisher, and of course the internet exists beyond all of our control, what we've created is badges that specifically help DVC students manage Canvas and manage the online environment. These badges are based on feedback that we've gotten from faculty, from students, from deans, from managers. So we update these badges every academic year. and they stay very, very current and very, very relevant. And there are teachers like myself who offer actual course credit for students that complete the badges. So if you want to get a head start on the semester, the best thing that you can do is to earn each of these badges before school starts on Monday. The other thing that's new and exciting is the DVC Support Hub. I don't know if you can click on the link so that we can get a glimpse of what the hub looks like. This is a wonderful support page. So what you do is you put your Insight login information, and then you get access to the support hub. This hub covers everything. Earlier, our ASDVC president talked about the food pantry. We've got everything linked here: tutoring, academic support, health and wellness, basic needs, the library. It's just incredible the amount of support that we offer students. Your job really is to use the support. We really rely on you to take advantage of all of the things that we provide to you to make your time at DVC successful. So now we can go, and we're very excited about the hub because it's brand new. Advice. I know unsolicited advice is not always what people want, but I'm going to give you some anyway. Next slide. Here we go. And this is all based on all the data that we've collected from being remote for these past 4 semesters. Number 1, everything Carolyn said. Set up your notifications, read the announcements. Attend your professor's office and support hours. That was mentioned by the students. We offer them sometimes on campus, sometimes on Zoom. Reach out. We are more than happy to interface with you and give you the support that you need. One thing that was not mentioned in the context of the calendar that I encourage my students to do is you can actually add your own events into the calendar. So it's populated with assignments from your various classes. You can also populate it with your own personal study schedule. And this was mentioned earlier by a genius student. What we know is if you study your business communications class every Monday at 3 o'clock in the same spot, and that spot is not your bedroom and not your bed, we know that you're going to succeed. Because the students that succeed treat their class time, even if it's online, like a job. And you report into yourself, you put in your time, you have a ritual so that if you don't show up to that space on Monday at 3 o'clock, you all of a sudden start to feel like life isn't complete. I'm missing my business communication class. I need to get over there, sit down, and open it up. Monitor the class discussion board regularly. These tools in Canvas are sometimes emphasized by professors. Other times professors expect you to know where they are and expect you to use them. So that's why the 3 of us are here to caution you that you need to pay attention to the full scale of the learning management system. Obviously, don't wait until the last minute to complete your weekly assignments. The students made it clear that college is different than high school. You can't wait till the last minute. In my class, nobody can wait until the last minute to do their work. It will show. And there's no way that work is going to be up to the standard that you need it to be. Always read your professor's feedback. When you set your notifications, be sure to set to be notified when submission comments are sent by professors. It's phenomenally frustrating to your instructors for us to send detailed feedback and then to get work back from you that shows you haven't read it. It's very discouraging, and you don't want to discourage us. I know you don't. If you're having trouble, one of the best things you can do is take a screenshot of what you see, and then within Canvas, there's an inbox function. Send that screenshot as an attachment to your instructor. That helps us understand what the troubles are that you're having. Make a schedule for your coursework, as I said, and check your Insight email regularly. So if that's going to be an extra step for you, have it forwarded to your personal email. You can do that. I know a lot of people in this generation don't check their emails regularly, but it's a professional courtesy to do that. And the courtesy isn't only to the sender, it's also to yourself. Next slide. We believe in you. We know you can do this. We know we've got the help that you need. Don't let a minute of frustration derail you. Please reach out. We are so excited that you're here, and we so are invested in your success.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was fabulous. And Carolyn and Lisa and Mariano gave great advice. And I think that employing that is going to make you feel so much more confident going into your classes this semester. You're going to definitely have an advantage over everyone who was not at this welcome day. So thank you to the DE team for some great information. If Zara, you could put on the slide that will also include a poll that we were going to have you. We do have a couple of extra pieces of information that we want to share with you, but right now we wanted you to take just a few minutes, and there's going to be a survey that is going to pop up. And if you could take just a couple of minutes and give us your feedback, we would love to continue to improve Welcome Day for future students. And while you're taking that poll, my co-host, Tristan, who is a DVC student herself and also works at DVC, is going to be sharing just a little bit about her experience here at the college.
Yeah, thank you. So as I mentioned earlier, I am in my last semester at DVC, which is absolutely heartbreaking because I've absolutely loved every second that I spent here. I actually graduated high school in 2020. And fun fact, this coming semester will actually be my first ever in-person class at DVC. So I'd like to think that we're all kind of in the same boat as we navigate this weird kind of hybrid world together. I always like to joke that I'm like a legacy student of DVC because almost every single member of my family has ended up here for some point in time. So it's just constantly hearing about how amazing DVC was. And after a while, I just kind of decided that I wanted to end up here too. And it's been really phenomenal. But I do have some tips, because it's very easy to just kind of like show up to class, put your head down, and then leave immediately after your class gets out. And I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that you can make at this community college. I think we have this really kind of special and beautiful community at DVC, and we have to really take advantage of that. And I think looking back at my college career, if there's anything that I would have changed, it would be just getting involved earlier and like at a greater capacity. But for me, that looked like joining speech and debate, which was a huge way to get involved on campus and make friends, even in this like weird virtual world. So I definitely recommend getting involved in something and connecting with your peers in some way, just because there's so much out there. And community college can be this isolating experience. You know, we're staying at home, most of us, you know, you're not in a college dorm where you're like making friends all the time. So you have to just like kind of put yourself out there and, you know, go out and do things to meet people. And then another really big thing is just utilize every single resource that's available to you. I know so many people who have transferred away from DVC and have looked back at their college careers and just been like, wow, we were so lucky to have access to so many phenomenal resources. We have things like tutoring. We have things like the Career Closet where you can have free clothes from DVC or free food, all of these basic needs being met. And on top of that, we have this like wonderful community with events going on all the time. So definitely utilize that. And a lot of times if you have a question or you need help, people are really only like a click or two away if you're online, but you know, like a student services building away if you're in person. And I think that like the fact that everybody here today kind of brought this up is probably a testament to how special DVC is when it comes to this factor. And then like my last piece of advice is just seek out help when you need it. I really recommend speaking to your counselors about things like your ed plan as soon and as often as you can, and to go to those office hours. Like, that's something that almost every single person here has talked about, but it is very, very critical that you build these relationships because it's very easy to fall behind. Yeah, get in the habit of asking for help often and early. I think when you are at a place like DVC, you have to be able to utilize that help. You have to be able to go ahead and seek it out because there's so much of it out there. So I hope that this helped you guys kind of think about what you want to do once you're a student here at DVC. And I hope that your spring semester is absolutely fabulous. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask me in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Tristan.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, Zara, if you want to close the poll and move to the next slide. We hope this program answered most of your questions, but we realize it probably didn't answer all of your questions. And for help with anything that comes up over the course of this semester, please use the chat feature on the DVC webpage, which is featured here. It's got a red arrow pointing to it. Most of our web pages have that chat button. And we have actual people, live people monitoring that chat Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can put something in the chat and someone will respond to you. After business hours, you'll receive a response the next day. So definitely use the chat as a way of reaching out and asking questions as they occur to you. All right, next slide.
Right. We look forward to supporting you throughout your time at DVC. From this point on, you all are now officially DVC Vikings. Congratulations.
Right on. And this marks the end of our program, and we really appreciate you participating in Welcome Day. And we hope you have a great evening and a fantastic spring semester. Thank you.